Ever wake up in the dead of night, convinced you're not alone? You crack an eye open, and there he is. In the deepest shadow of the bedroom. Just two glowing pinpricks, staring you down, unblinking. You smile, think it's adorable. But you shouldn't. What you call love, science calls tactical surveillance. Your cat isn't just chilling with you. He's mapping your every move. He knows the exact moment your sleep goes deepest. He knows your most vulnerable spot. And you've never once realized you're his primary research subject. The truth is, you're not the owner. You're the experiment. And if you think that's a stretch, just wait until you understand what happens when he follows you to the bathroom. That changes everything you thought about loyalty. If you want to stop getting played by your own pet, hit subscribe now. You're going to need to understand what comes next before it's too late. Ever notice your cat staring intently, then blinking, real slow? Everyone calls it a cat kiss. Says it's a sign of absolute trust. But there's one detail nobody tells you. In the wild, closing your eyes is a fatal mistake. When he does that, he's not just loving you. He's testing your reaction. He wants to know if you're a threat or if he's already got total control of the room. It's a biological bluff. He fakes vulnerability to see how you respond. But that's not the weirdest part. The weirdest part is when he stops blinking. And that leads to something else that happens when you're distracted. You know when you're cooking dinner or binging a show and you feel that weight on your back. You glance over, and there he is, sitting perfectly still, watching you in silence. Almost like he's logging your schedule. That happens because cats are ambush predators. They don't hunt through exhaustion. They hunt through information. They need to predict your next move. Ever notice how he appears out of nowhere exactly 1 second before you open the fridge? It's not instinct. It's pure behavioral data analysis. But it gets even more bizarre when the lights go out. At 3 a.m., his world changes. While you see darkness, he sees a thermal map. He sees the heat radiating off your body. He hears the rhythm of your heart slowing down. If your cat's ever just frozen, staring into the void behind you, drop a comment with spooked. A lot of people think it's ghosts. But the explanation is far more unsettling. They're hearing frequencies your human ear could never pick up. They're hearing bugs scurrying inside the walls or the hum of electricity in the wiring. To them, your apartment is a noisy battlefield. And you're the only thing in that scenario that makes no sense. That explains why, out of nowhere, they just tear through the house like maniacs. You call it zoomies. Experts call it sensory overload stress discharge. He just saw or heard something you're biologically incapable of noticing. And he's trying to process it before you even wake up. But there's one behavior that's the most disturbing of all. That moment he climbs onto your chest and starts making biscuits. You think he's remembering his kittenhood, that he's comfortable. Maybe. But he's also doing something else. Cats have scent glands in their paws. While he's making biscuits on you, he's depositing pheromones onto your body. He's not showing affection. He's marking you as property. To the outside world, you smell like him. You've been claimed. And the purr. That constant vibration that just melts you. That's a frequency manipulation tool. A cat's purr is in the exact same hertz range as a human baby's cry. Your brain is hardwired not to ignore that sound. He's literally hacking your nervous system to ensure you cater to his desires. It gets even weirder when you realize he knows exactly when you're sad. He comes over, brushes against you, and just stays there. You think, he understands me. And he does. Just not in the romantic way you imagine. He detects the chemical change in your sweat. He senses the spike in cortisol, the stress hormone. To him, you're a machine that's gone haywire. And he needs that machine to get back to normal, so he stays safe. He's not just comforting you. He's fixing his source of food and security. Maybe your cat isn't weird. Maybe you just never understood what it means to be watched by a predator who decided to take up residence on your couch. He knows your secrets. He knows your weak spots. And he's still there, in the corner of the room, waiting for you to turn out the lights. If you made it this far, and you'll never look at your cat the same way again, comment, "I saw it all." Like this video if you're also your cat's experiment. And share it with that friend who thinks their cat is just a little baby. They need to know the truth. But this leads to the final point. The secret that explains every slow blink and every time he makes biscuits on your lap. Your cat doesn't see you as a master. He sees you as a giant, but terribly clumsy, kitten. Everything he does, from the midnight meows to the fixed stare while you sleep, is to keep you alive. He monitors your breathing. He tests your reflexes. He brings you gifts, because he's convinced you can't hunt for yourself and will starve. The justice here is poetic and a little humiliating. You drop serious dollars on the best kibble, but in his head, he's the one ensuring your survival. He's not a pet. He's a silent guardian who's accepted the mission to protect an incompetent giant. Maybe your cat isn't weird. Maybe you just never understood the weight of responsibility he carries for you every single day. The real question isn't why he behaves this way. The question is, what would happen to you if he ever stopped watching? If you watched this far, it's because you liked this case. Drop a comment saying I watched it all, so I can get to know you and see who really digs the stories on this channel. Like this video if you're also being taken care of by your cat, and share it with someone who needs to understand what their cat is trying to tell them.